Suddenly realised earlier today that it's NaNoWriMo, and for the first time in 4 or 5 years, it's completely passed me by. I've completely forgotten about it. Normally, I think I even mentioned it in advance that, oh yeah, it's NaNoWriMo coming up. I'll make sure I'm doing something for that. But actually, I've just completely forgot about it. It was only that somebody wrote November as NO earlier today that I suddenly went, NaNoWriMo, the National November Writing Month, I think it stands for. National Novel Writing Month. Damn it, I'm an idiot. I thought the no was November. It's novel. National Novel Writing Month. There we go. But I've not started it. I've not done it. I can't believe it's taken me years to realise that's what the no stood for. I just thought it was November. But I've realised today how far off the wagon I've got. I think I lost a lot of steam when I went on holiday. And then I lost a lot of steam over summer because I just couldn't get back into it and everything. And then when I started to get back into it, and I know I talked about it on the videos, I then obviously had, most recently, just the faff with my health, the faff with Ollie, the faff with birthdays and events and, I don't know, bonfire or whatever. I didn't even do anything on that, but do you know what I mean? It's just been busy. So when I get in and I'll do a video or whatever, I then just sit on the sofa, and games have started to take up all my spare time. I'm playing several different games at once. This is probably the most, I mentioned it on Mature Gamer this week, this is probably the most gaming I've done in 5 or 6 years. I've got several proper big games on the go, and it's all just kind of sacrificing what I really like doing, and that is writing. And it's kind of like, damn it, come on. I do a lot of work still. I mean, interestingly, and I don't think I mentioned this on the vlog, and I should do. Now, this isn't all down to me, and I'm not ever going to claim it was, because it, team effort, and also what I was writing about was other people's massively awesome hard work. But where I work won an award the other day. They won the Rising Star Award in the IT industry for the UK. And when they gave my boss the award, they mentioned that a lot of it was based on the sheer quality of the submission. So you got submitted for the award, they accepted you on as a candidate, they shortlisted people, and they asked you to write, I can't remember how many thousands of words it was, but basically an essay about why you deserved it, about where you've come from, what you're doing, and where you're going next. And they asked you to write about all the different things that made your company special. And I was given that task as the resident writer of the group. I write copy and all this sort of stuff, blah, blah, blah. And they said, right, here's what we want. Because what they'd done is they'd paid someone else to write it, and they'd handed something back that was just garbage, basically. It was just a mess. We tried getting someone else to write it, and then they were like, let's just give it to Rich, he'll do it. So I had a stab at it. And I'm not going to say I knocked it out of the park first time. I wrote it, and my boss was like, I like it, but I just want to tweak some things. And then I rewrote it, and he was like, I like it, but I need to say this. And I'd be staring at it, kind of, I'd have the words you'd want to say, but I'd just be like, how do I get that right? And then that eureka moment, and I loved it. It was so great because it was exactly the sort of thing that I enjoy when I'm normally writing and I'm trying to get a point across. But it was just focused like a laser on a specific cause. And we worked our backsides off on it. I remember submitting it and thinking, if we don't win this award, I'm going to be gutted, because as I say, together, knowing what we were writing about, knowing the company I worked for are that awesome, and we had such a good topic to write about, we felt genuinely like we were doing something worthwhile. And then on Thursday just gone, they went there and they won the award, and they mentioned heavily that it was swayed by what I and the people that helped me wrote. We had like a graphic guy do some charts and things that made it look very cool as well and jazzed it up. But the point was, the message we put across was awesome, and I thought, that's great, something I wrote won them an award. I say, I'm not claiming so, not by any stretch, but I was chuffed. My boss rang me the next day personally and said that I was a key part of that, and he was very pleased and very proud and very happy, and I just felt really good. And I think that's bubbled in my mind as well, because I'm thinking, right, now I've written something that was that good that my boss has rang me to tell me, and he's got higher standards. Like, he doesn't mess around. He's not the sort of person who just be like, well done, mate, you're really good, and then that's it. He's called me probably a couple of times since I've worked there, and it's always been after something major, and he's just like, mate, you've smashed that there. And this is a company that smashes stuff all the time. So to get a call, I was so pleased. But it has made me realise I'm just so far out on the whole writing thing, and I've been reading like advice and how to get back on the wagon with it all and how to do it. Neil Gaiman, one of my favourite writers, he wrote the Sandman, I can't think of the right word, the compendium, the so many stories of Sandman that exists. My favourite comic bar none. Absolutely fantastic story. He wrote American Gods, he wrote Coraline, I can't think about it, Norse mythology, was it called? Loads of awesome stuff. If you haven't read his stuff, go read it. It'll blow your mind. But he said that what he does every day to make himself write, even when he doesn't feel like writing, is he has a deal with himself. He says he sits down in the place where he writes, or a place he's going to write in. He's arranged that he's going to write there. And he has a deal with himself that he'll either write or he will not write, but he can't do anything but that. So he can sit there and just daydream and look around and act like a pillock for an hour or whatever and just waste an hour of his time, or he can write. But he can't sit there and play games, he can't sit there and read, he can't sit there and watch telly, he can't sit there and listen to the radio. He has to either do nothing or he has to write. And he said the second he got in that routine, he did it. And he has written all the books he's ever written and all that sort of stuff. And I'm like, damn it, Gaiman, you've done it again. You've put this in my head. Because he always puts ideas in my head. He's the legend who goes into bloody airports and signs his books. And I think, God, I'd love to be in that position. It would just be copying him, so it wouldn't be worth really doing. But he's so funny that he'll just not break into them, that's the wrong word, but he'll go into bookshops and just open his own books and sign them all. And he gets away with it so often, it's hilarious. I always think I shouldn't be buying his books off of Amazon. I should be going into bloody airport shops and buying them, because that's where they're all signed. Not that I imagine his signature would be particularly like valuable in terms of cash or anything like that. It'd be nice to know the man himself has touched the book. But he's very inspiring as a writer. It's the long and short. I've gone on a bit of a waffle there, but I thought to myself, that'd be awesome. But I've been looking up whether there's anywhere you can just kind of rock up to and just, I mean, other than a coffee shop, because I know I'd end up buying too many lattes or something, but I'd love to be able to, I don't know, drive home from work and park up somewhere, force myself to just spend an hour writing and then go home. I mean, that wouldn't work because of childcare and all of that, but even if I got home, had my dinner, did all this, that and the other, and instead of going out Pokemon raiding, if I just parked up in a building with a laptop and just tapped away, there's no, I thought, you know, creative spaces are supposed to exist everywhere, but they apparently don't. Seems like such a great idea. I don't know whether they'd actually get used, but I feel like if they did, people would get a lot more done. I considered all sorts of things, whether I want to find a class to go to so that it just gives me that forced sit and perform kind of thing. But no, I know I've done a video about this before, and it's not a moan. I don't want to sound like I'm just a whinge bag. It's not a moan at all. I've just realising that it's NaNoWriMo and I'm not even remotely engaged on it. I'm realising that I've still got it. I love writing, and I felt so good getting the plaudits from my boss. Yeah, I just wanted, I guess the one thing I wrote down, I'm looking at my notepad below because I wrote down different things I wanted to mention in this, is I think what's getting me going again now is reading advice from people like Neil Gaiman, but also the thought of just seeing what other people are up to. I mean, I'm sure there's at least going to be a couple of you watching who are taking part or believe it's a fad thing and you're already working on something. And I'd love to know what people are working on, just because it's interesting. I want to know how many people out there write. It'd be really cool to kind of find out and see, because I think my big aim at the moment is I want to write something on my own. I want to write something and then not have like, I don't know, Kevin Chapman and Richard Bass. I just want to have Richard Bass written on it, basically. I think that'd be cool. I'm sure our previous books were so bad, Kev would quite happily take his name off them to fulfill that wish, but that's not what I mean, and I thought they were better than maybe he does. But no, it's interesting. It's weird that I'm, what is it, the 19th? I basically, to catch up, I can't even do the quick maths on it. Damn it, I'd have to write 10,000 words. If I can write 10,000 words tomorrow, then I'll have caught up on NaNoWriMo and I can finish the rest of the month. But the fact is, it's 9 o'clock at night now and I haven't started, so I don't think I'm going to cram 10,000 words in by tomorrow night. Part of me hopes that I'm laying in bed tonight and I think, damn it, I will, and then I can run off and do it. But The other temptation is to go and find something I've already written 10,000 words in and just continue it, which feels a little bit more realistic, so I might do that. I was thinking, I can't remember the name of the site now. There's a website where you can upload chapters of your story as you go along. All I remember is that it's a yellowy orange colour. But I wrote maybe 4, 5 big parts of a story that I ended up uploading on there because I wasn't sure. I couldn't tell whether it was worth pursuing or not. I was enjoying writing it, which is the only important thing really. But I couldn't tell whether it was any good, and I put them up there, and I tell you what, it only got like a handful of reads, but there was one person that commented, and she just, I think it was a she, I'm assuming by her username it was a she, it might have been a man with a girl username. They seemed well into it, and that has genuinely, like, I keep remembering that, and that pulls me back to it as well. That pulls me back to wanting to do that specific story, because that's such a nice thing. And that's, again, it's just those feelings are what are going in my head at the moment, making me think, do it, go and do it, go on and do it. And I think I can't remember the damn site's name, but I'll have to dig out the site, read through the comments. Hopefully there won't have been somebody else commenting going, mate, give up, this is terrible. But that person's comments have been floating around in my brain all week as well, just making me think somebody out there was well into what you did, and they added you to their, remind me when this author writes more kind of category. And then, being a typical moron like I am, I didn't write enough. I didn't write anything more, so I'm stupid. But no, I should, and I will, and I need to. And I'm thinking, Christmas coming up, I might try and look for ideas and things that I can put on like lists and stuff that might force me into doing more of this in a more religious pattern, even if I just ask for a writing class or something and then go to it. I don't know, just something like that. I don't even know if that's a feasible thing. It all feels very American to have a creative space or a writing lesson. I don't know, people don't seem to do that in the UK, and if they do, I don't know any of them. Nobody I know does those things, so maybe I'm hanging around in the wrong circles. But anyway, I'm gonna wrap this up because I'm nearly over my normal sort of slot of time that I like to waste of yours. So thanks very much for watching. I say, let me know if you are writing anything, because I'm interested. I want to know what people are up to. It doesn't have to be a book. If you're writing anything really, songs, music, whatever, it's just interesting. I want to know what people do. I feel like it's always worth knowing what people are working on or what projects people are working on, because you can kind of just name drop people. And I've had so many examples in life where someone's just said, oh, I'm looking for an artist. I'm like, bang, they're an artist. Or I'm looking for someone who's really good at whatever. Or I remember there was a guy, I still follow him on Twitter, we still talk now and again, but he was making a card game that I don't think he works on anymore, which is a damn shame, because he was making an awesome little card game. And yeah, it's just interesting knowing, because you just think you'll never know when that information will come up, and sometimes it will. And, you could make someone's dreams, a reality, or really help them along the way, couldn't you, if you just kind of put them forward? That's why, I'm really excited still, even though we've not really done much lately. Someone put me forward as a writer to someone who needed a writer. And I talk to them at the moment and say we are behind a bit, but it's only because life's just got in the way. But it's interesting being able to kind of pass people on and stuff, because it really does help, and feedback really helps. So, if you know someone working on something, go and see what they're doing and give them advice, because, as I say, that person who said that they really liked my stuff and wanted to know more, that was a year ago, I think, and it still sort of floats in my head that person genuinely liked it and made the effort to make a comment and whatever. And yeah, it makes a big difference. I'm gonna wrap up anyway. As I say, thanks for watching. I'll chat to you on Wednesday, and yeah, have a good Tuesday, I suppose. Cheers, bye bye.